Hi, I'm Josanne Wright Callender, the author of The Happy Little Garbage Truck Picture Book and Educational System. Our whole series of talks on this channel is the reason is to try to develop a more positive, powerful mindset in our children, the children that we both perhaps teach or nurture. So, this particular series that I've started is talking about resiliency and how to become that person so that we can model it for our children. So today, resiliency leads to the next trait. We talked about emotional awareness. And so now, in the article that I've been reading by Elizabeth Scott, she listed about 8 traits, and we're looking at them a little bit more deeply. So today's trait is persistence. The definition of persistence, I thought I'd look that up, and it's a firm or obstinate continuance in a course of action in spite of difficulty or opposition. And this is something that I've studied over the years is how to be more focused and tune into the different goals that I'm persisting toward. So in the research that I've done over the years, it appears that one becomes more persistent toward achieving a goal that really matters. There's got to be some intrinsic value in the goal in order to persist toward it. So that could be getting a job, meeting the right someone, having a child, losing weight, starting and maintaining a healthy lifestyle, which includes diet. And each one fulfills a strong desire that we can um, substantiate or give good reasons for why that goal is important to us. So it's a specifically tailored goal that we're persisting toward, something that has a future meaning for us. And I found out actually that our brain grows and improves as we focus on moving towards these goals. So usually we persist toward goals because it's got a positive outcome for us. And while this trait can also be seen in not so positive, persistent goals, such as a food or drug addiction, it actually is the same circuitry involved. And we actually spoke about this when we were talking about developing a positive mindset or positive thinking. In a recent article, before I go to my recap of what we did back then, I just noticed that Dr. Lou E. Whitaker has an article called How Does Positive Thinking Affect Neuroplasticity? And that's one thing that we've been really truly focused on is how do we develop a better brain with more of these positive skills. He mentioned a book by Daniel Goleman called Focus, the Hidden Driver of Excellence. And in this book, Daniel Goldman spoke about an activity that goes on in the prefrontal area of the brain. He says that positivity results in enhanced mental functions, such as creative thinking or cognitive flexibility, which we know connects to that insula. And it increases because of the reinforcement and generation or growth of new synapses. Well, he also went on to say that when we have negative feelings, anxious, anxious, anxiety, sorry, stress, and anger, the brain actually draws precious metabolic energy away from the prefrontal cortex. So, what I was looking at in our previous conversation was how we have nerve cells, and the synapses allow them to receive receptors on the nerve cells, allow them to receive other cells that are generated by our thoughts. And these cells could either be positive or negative. And we said that the receptors on the nerve cell actually can receive both. But the more that we receive positive, those positive thoughts, it connects with our receptors on our nerve cells, and the negative thoughts aren't received, and those cells actually regenerate. And so I believe this is what Mr. Goldman was talking about. So we're actually creating more and more positivity within our positive receptors within our brain and nerve cells because we are allowing more positive thoughts to reside within our minds. And these thoughts seem to be like ephemeral and just thoughts, but they actually have a chemical compound to them. And that's why our nerve cells are able to regenerate more positive cells as we continue to focus on positive thoughts. So when I read that, the negative feelings and thoughts could actually draw metabolic energy away from the prefrontal cortex. That really set off bells and warnings to me. So he went on to say that these activities keep the brain from performing at its regular level or achieving a higher level. So that's something to focus on. As we focus on positivity, we're actually increasing more our positive neurons and synapses. So it seems like the more you focus on something, the more of those synapses you're going to have growing. And so personally, I keep positive affirmations around me. And one is a note that I got from a friend. She even laminated it and sent it to me. And it was Winston Churchill's never, never, never give up. And I know you've all seen this quote, but I keep it personally in a place where I could see it as soon as I come in because I do writing first thing in the morning as well as my YouTubes. And another that I keep on my monitor is a Bible verse. Let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. And that's from Galatians 6:9. So positive affirmations for me are so important. And it helps me to achieve positive goals and stay on the positive path as I persist toward my goals and achieve them. So we're hoping that as we role model for the students and the children that we're working with and nurturing, that we will grow in this area of persistence to have more resiliency as individuals. So I'll talk with you later, and thank you so much for being with me today. And next week, we'll continue on with our talks about resiliency and the traits that create a resilient person. Okay, take care.